about to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see.
Get out of almost any physical or sexual assault. Smarter living for men and women. Of all the tactics in this book, this may be the one that can save more than just your sanity and self-respect, but possibly even your life. To understand the dynamics and application of the psychological techniques, we'll divide these attacks into two categories: sexual assaults and physical assaults. PowerPoint. If your attacker just wants things, your money, wallet, purse, jewelry, or anything but you, give it to him. Any of these items can be replaced. You cannot. If he just wants things, then you are lucky. Sexual assaults. Apply these techniques in ascending order. Please remember that there are no foolproof methods that will work every time in every situation. You need to assess the situation and do whatever makes sense to you at the time. The following will offer you some options and ideas that may prove to be effective, but for more detailed information, you are encouraged to call the National Center for Victims of Crime at 800-FYI-CALL. 1. In situations where you and he know each other, you either have a relationship with this person or you've met before, pretend to be interested and excited in what the person is doing. In an attempted rape situation, your only objective is to get away before you are harmed. This can best be accomplished by letting your attacker believe that you do not want to get away. Therefore, if you initiate or carry through some small degree of affection, he, in his heightened state of arousal, will likely accept your intentions as honest. Then, when he is vulnerable or you have an opportunity, injure him and/or leave the situation. Remember that if he believes that you are a willing participant, he will behave less aggressively and much differently. This will give you control over your circumstances. Sometimes the mistake people make is to resist initially, either verbally, physically, or both. Resist your instinct to defend yourself. If you do not become defensive, then he will not be as aggressive and will move more slowly and carelessly and give you your out. Remember that your first tactic should be to look for an escape, but if you can't, let him think that this is what you want. Some rapists who know the victim believe that this person wants it, so you don't need to do a lot of convincing. His guard will be down as long as he doesn't think that you want to escape. And when he relaxes his guard, move. Aside from initiating some small gesture toward physical contact, smile. That's right, smile. We've talked often about the power of smiling in this book. This is a universal sign that you are comfortable and accepting of the situation. Let him see a big, broad, wide, encompassing smile. Depending on how well you know this person, you may need to provide for a reasonably logical motivation for your wanting to have sex with this person. If you are convincing enough, you can try to convince him too that it has to be just perfect and that you want a change of venue, to go somewhere where it will be more romantic. If you don't know your attacker, you can still try to convince him of your interest. Assuming you're able to carry on some sort of dialogue, you should tell him that this is your exact fantasy and that you want it to be just perfect. Tell him what to do, such as lie down, take off your shirt. If he complies, then you will have gained some control of the situation. Then, do whatever it takes to either incapacitate him and/or escape. Note: you should be aware that if the assault continues, this tactic may be used against you in court. The defense may use your overt interest as an indication that you wished for the encounter to take place. 2. Try to calm your attacker and persuade him not to carry out the attack. Some women have been successful by simply telling their attackers not to continue. For this to be effective, the woman must speak confidently and assuredly. You should be direct and clear. No, stop this now. 3. If you are at home, tell him somebody will be back soon. If you are in a more public place, yell, scream, and try to create any type of disturbance. 4. You may be able to turn off the attacker by repulsing him by vomiting, urinating, belching, and so on, claiming to be sick or have AIDS, pretending to be insane or mentally deranged. 5. Physical self-defense. If you decide to fight, make sure that you are not afraid to inflict serious pain on your attacker. Hit him where it hurts. Eyes, groin, throat, and nose are particularly vulnerable. If you feel that you will be injured and hurt by defending yourself, do not feel guilty. Survival is your ultimate objective. A victim who does not fight back should never feel guilty or ashamed. Sometimes it's the smartest thing to do. PowerPoint. If your attacker wants to take you somewhere, do whatever you can to avoid going with him. Studies show that once he gets you in a car or away from where you are, your chances of being harmed increase significantly. Scream, punch, kick, and do whatever you need to do to not be taken from where you are. The best defense is a smart offense. If you don't find yourself in these situations, then you will not have to worry about how to get out of them. Be smart and use caution. You never know who you are dealing with. Physical assaults, for men and women. If you follow these tactics, you can get out of just about any physical assault. Your sole objective is to get out of the situation without being injured. It's smarter to walk away with a bruised ego than a bruised face. 1. Okay, somebody did something to you that you don't appreciate. The problem is, you never know who you're talking with. In an age when many people walk around with a weapon and an attitude, you need to be careful. First, a word to the wise. If somebody steps on your foot, cuts you off, bumps into you, whatever, let it go. Did he do it on purpose because he's looking for a fight? Was it an accident? Does he not like you and wants to show that he's bigger and stronger than you? Is he trying to prove something to you, himself or somebody else? You don't always know, and most important, who cares? If you can walk away, walk away. 2. If this is happening with someone whom you know and is beginning with verbal abuse, then understand the dynamics here. The person treats you this way because it makes him feel powerful. To diffuse his anger, acknowledge his authority and power. To do this, simply say, "You're right, I'm sorry." Then remove yourself from the situation. 3. If the preceding isn't working fast enough, you can use this tactic. Become more upset at yourself than the person is. He is yelling because he wants you to feel the way he does, angry, hurt, frustrated, and small. So if you make him believe that you feel worse than he does, he accomplishes nothing more by yelling. When you beat yourself up verbally, he has no real motivation to hurt you physically because his ego is being assuaged. 4. There's an old saying, never argue with anyone who is crazier than you. Do whatever you can to make him think that you're nuts. Scream, yell, talk to imaginary people, whatever. Here's why this works. He is looking to fight you because he believes that he will be victorious. No matter how angry we get, we rarely pick a fight with someone who we know can beat the daylights out of us. If you do what he does not expect, then the person will conclude that you are unpredictable, capable of anything, and may indeed be a threat. He's no longer in control of the situation and hence doesn't feel as powerful. 5. If that's not working, then hit first and hit hard. Don't start a fight, but if you have no choice, make sure that you finish it. Hit him where it hurts. Eyes, groin, throat, and nose are particularly vulnerable. Strategy review. Sexual assaults. Resist initially your inclination to defend yourself either verbally or physically. Try to calm your attacker and persuade him not to carry out the attack. If you are at home, tell him somebody will be back soon. If you are in a more public place, yell, scream, and try to create any type of disturbance. You may be able to turn off the attacker by repulsing him by vomiting, urinating, belching, and so on, claiming to be sick or have AIDS, pretending to be insane or mentally deranged. Physical self-defense. Hit him where it hurts. eyes, groin, throat, and nose are particularly vulnerable. Physical assaults. To diffuse his anger, acknowledge his authority and power. To do this, simply say, "You're right, I'm sorry." Become more upset at yourself than the person is and remove his unconscious incentive for physical abuse. We tend to stay away from people who are crazier than we are. Act unpredictably. If nothing else works, then be practical. Hit first and hit hard. Hit him where it hurts. Eyes, groin, throat, and nose are particularly vulnerable.